Hey, my name's Sean. Welcome to Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. Have you ever had a bourbon that just hurts when you see it go?
Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that?
So last night was on a live stream. I'm telling you what, there's some amazing people in this community. Absolutely love the people, not only the creators, but the people that really make the community, all the different members of this community as well. You know, we get the cool part, or we get to talk and we get to have fun and we get to cut up. But if there weren't members out there that gave us all the pointers and the insight, we'd be 100% lost on a lot of things, you know. And I absolutely love dealing with every one of you out there. So we were on Baker's Drinks last night, and they were doing a bottle kill video, and I was watching, and I finally got on late. Was on there with some amazing people last night. You know, Matt from Whiskey Wisdom was on there. Adam from Major Zero was on there. There was another gentleman, RJ, that was on there. I need to check him out. He's a funny guy out of Texas, but had a good time. And as they're going through the bottle kills, I'm thinking about something, and I'm like, man, which bottles are really going to hurt when I have to see them go? You know, so you hate to see them go, but you love to see them leave, type of thing, because you enjoyed the bourbon there. Paraphrasing from a country song there. But so I started thinking about, these are the bottles that, as they're finally killed, I'm going to miss them a lot. So, you know, I'm going to go through these. And I know I'm sentimental on certain things. That's just part of my nature. That's who I am. You know, it's part of my DNA. So when certain bottles go, I'm like, dang, not only do I'm going to miss the juice, but I'm going to miss the reason behind the bottle. So let's see what we got down here. My first one shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that's watched the channel for some time. King of Georgia, Southern Collective, 15-year MGP juice. It's a light whiskey coming in at 135.6. You know, this is amazing juice. I actually think there's a couple drops still in there. Fire in the hole. Oh, it is such good stuff. But, and for those that don't watch the live stream last night, they'll know exactly what that means. That was for Matt right there. So they talked me into doing something, but we had fun with it last night. But that Southern Collective to me is just a real special bottle. And what makes it so special is not a lot of people know about it. You know, it was something that when I was at Maple Party Shop, Matt and Danny are like, dude, this is 15-year MGP juice. It freaking looks like motor oil. And I've bought multiple bottles of this because there's only like 120 something of these available. And so I sampled it out to a lot of people because I don't want to just be the only one that tries something. So I sampled it out. Hell, even I ain't got much left in this bottle. You know, so as you can see, I like this bottle a lot. I still got a couple of bottles left, but I'm going on wean mode right now. When I open a bottle, I always tend to give a lot of it to other people to try because I think it's cool that other people get to try some things that maybe they don't have in their area, or maybe it's a limited quantity and they'll never try it again. But Southern Collective was my first one. Second bottle. Killed this last night. 13th Colony, Southern Sour Mash. And the reason that this one is so special is because it's no longer being made. It's going the way of the dodo bird. It's a very good sour mash. It's a 9-year sour mash. I absolutely love the product. You know, some people tease about the bottle. They like or don't like the bottle because the room it takes up. But I think the bottle is cool. It's just because once it's gone, it's gone. And so I know as I finish this bottle up, that's one little bit left that's on this planet Earth that I'll never see again. And I'll miss it when it's gone. I mean, I won't go out in the backyard and dig a hole and bury it and say some words. but it's going to be one of those things that I'm glad I enjoyed it, but I hate that it's not going to be on the market anymore. So sorry I need a little coffee this morning, late night last night, but that's all right. Oh, over on the right hand side over here. I don't know what so the subscribers just jumped yesterday. And I love when people are members of this channel. But I suspect there's some people helping me out there, and I truly appreciate it. But when I get to the 1,000 subscriber mark, there'll be a video. It'll have always in my stuff is must be continental U.S. over the age of 21. Must verify that, and there'll be a key phrase in that video, and it'll have it in the title, 1,000 subscriber giveaway or something like that. When I go ahead and do that, I'll have this 1 liter bottle of Buffalo Trace. I'll have this Jack Daniel's barrel proof single barrel store pick, and these are ounce per dollar, my favorite bottles, period, just because of what you get for them for $69.99. A small batch of the E.H. Taylor, and I'll have an infinity bottle. And this infinity bottle's got some of the stuff that I'm going to hate to see go, but it'll give somebody else an opportunity to say, yeah, there was a little bit in there. You may not get the full profile, of course you won't, because there's a lot of other good things mixed in here, but it's got 13th Colony Double Oaked, it's got some George T. Stagg, stuff like that. So when it's gone, it's gone. I'm looking forward to getting this in someone's hands and letting them know what they think. What do you think about this? I truly appreciate the climb. I truly appreciate all of you out there supporting the channel. It's been an amazing journey so far, and I'm looking forward to many more things. So let me get back into the bottles I hate to see go. Russell's Reserve Private Selection. I really like these bottles. I think that they are, and I can get these periodically at the Alabama Bourbon Drops. They're reasonably priced, but they're hard to get, so I may only get 1 or 2 of these a year. They're such a good drinker. I'm going to have to do a head-to-head. I've got a couple of these versus Russell's Reserve 13 to figure out, is this as good or better as the Russell's Reserve 13? And I know people are out there screaming, pitchforks, torches, sacrilege, but these are really, really good. So anytime you have a really good bottle that's super hard to find at a good price when I get them, it always like, dang, I hate that. This actual bottle right here was part of a trade with someone that's a member of this channel. That Muffin Man, him and I do some amazing things. He's actually the one that got me, where did I put her at? Right there. Yep. This Resurgence Rye and Port. He was part of that crew that selected that. I mean, awesome dude. But I always hate to see these bottles go because I know, and like I said, I sample out a lot of stuff because I want people to try it. And so when that's gone, I'll be a bit sad, but have to hunt hard and go on it from there. Next bottle, Jack Daniel's 12. And see, like I said, I'm sentimental at times, but the reason that I really am gonna hate to see this go is because, a family member got this for me. And this is Dwayne. My brother-in-law. He won a part in the Alabama lottery. He's like, dude, you get me a lot of stuff. What can I get for you? And I'm like, dude, get something for yourself. He said, no, you do a lot of stuff. I want to get this for you. And so he goes and he gets me the Jack Daniel's 12. He gets me the Jack Daniel's 10. And as you can tell, I really like the 12 a lot. And I know it's going to be hard to get, and it's not going to be something I'll be able to find. And this is their first year batch, and when it's gone, it's gone. And maybe next year they'll have another one. It's as good, maybe even better. But the fact that someone took their time and invested in this and got this for me, it really means a lot, and it's good juice. So that's one of those bottles that when I drink the last bit, I'll actually reflect on it and go, that was super cool. Dwayne took care of me and did that for me, and I would never ask someone to do that for me, but he did it out of the kindness of his heart. So it means a lot. So that's another one. Let me slide these over because I'm sure we'll need some more camera room. Because I get into things, I get wordy and talk a lot. And for those that don't know, when I do these videos, unless Richard the Ghost cuts off my camera, it's a one-shot deal. I mean, I have an idea what I'm going to do, and from that point forward, I just go. I don't reshoot videos, and if it's good, it's good, and if it's horrible, maybe it's even funny and better. I don't know, but then I go from there. So other bottles. I mean, I just look at all these. 13th Colony Double Oak. This was part of a trade also with that Muffin Man. I mean, I've got enough left to do a sample that my hopes are to compare this versus this upcoming year's batch. And I know that's a big assumption on my part that I'm actually going to get any of this juice because it's going to go fast. But my goal is I want a sample or not sample, but I want to compare these two. I want to see what was last year's versus this year's, because I've talked with, the people out at 13th Colony, and one of the guys, I'm not going to name him out here, super nice guy, amazing guy, but he's like, I think that this year's juice is even better than last year's juice. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And he's like, no. And I'm like, that's phenomenal. I've never tried it, but he's had the opportunity to. He works there. He does a lot of stuff there. And I'm thinking, man, I really want to compare the two to see what kind of differences I find in there. And this is a super hard bottle to find. I've been hunting one of these for someone that's a member of this channel for like 6 months now, and I can't find it. But when this finally goes, I'll be, saddened to see it go. And I'm thinking this is the irony here, because I'm really showing a lot of 13th Colony stuff, but I'm going to be sad when this one goes. This is their rye. This is their cask strength. This was a member supplied. Derek, I was meeting him to drop off some samples for a blind at a local store. And the day before I talked about, I missed out on this. I didn't, was out of the area. And, I would have been really interested in trying their cask strength rye. But, if I get some, I get some. And he saw the video and he brought me a bottle. And I'm like, what do I owe you? He's like, don't worry about it, dude. I'm like, dude. So, this ties into that sentimentality for me, is that I've got an amazing juice here. It's signed by their master distiller that someone picked up, and said, hey, you talked about this. The bourbon community is so great for that I wanted you to try this. And I'm like, dude. And so, like I said, it brings into that part where when I ever finish this bottle, I'm going to enjoy the juice, but I'll be sad to see it go, because there's a great story behind it. I love the stories behind stuff, especially if it's very good juice, and all these are very good juice. There's a great story behind it. Someone did something as an act of kindness that I didn't ask for, and I absolutely am blown away by it. Like I said, it always gets me right in the chest. What do we got? This is the one that got me in the fire in the hole last night. So that was the joke last night on the live stream on Baker Drinks. So, I need a little stand up here, so when we're doing the stuff, and I've got one actually coming in tomorrow, that I'm always holding my phone. And so I'm holding my phone with one hand and I'm opening the bottle with my teeth with another, and they were just dying laughing about it. And so that's how the fire in the hole got started on that. But this one right here, this is the new, as you see, it's so freaking good. This is the Nulu experimental cask honey finish from the House of Bourbon. And so Terrence, a member of this channel, he comes down to visit family, and we're like, hey, let's bourbon hunt. This is right after the 4th of July. And he gets out of his car, and the first thing he does is, hey, I got this for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's funny because I actually had a bottle for him too, but Terrence is one of the most giving people you'll know. And this is such freaking good juice. And when Matt saw this, he was like, oh my gosh, you're drinking some of that. I'm like, yeah, because Matt's had some of this, because I like to share. I want people to share in the same experience. That's what bourbon is for, is sharing in that experience. So I had some of this last night, and I'm thinking to myself, man, when this one goes, it's the same thing as this 13th Colony. It's going to hit me in the heart. because I know I won't be able to get that bottle again, and I know it was an amazing gift from somebody, but I've also been able to make some memories because of it too. So, and the memories are what's going to stick with me more than ever drinking any bottle, is that I got the bourbon hunt, with Terrence. He got me this amazing bottle. I got some other people to try this. They remember this, and it's always going to be a memory there. So that's the point about bourbons and stuff is building friendships, building memories and having a good time. So absolutely love this. Gonna crush me when this one's gone. What do I have? Oh, this is gonna crush me for a different reason. Joseph Magnus cigar blend. I've already started the nursing process, and I've got over a half a bottle of this left. And why am I nursing this? It's because I've got a couple of bottles of Joseph Magnus. They are an amazing juice. They put out a lot of different batches that offer a lot of different expressions and profiles. But the thing that's done now is that MSRP is $200. I can't just run out, and when these are hard to find, and every time they drop, I can't just drop $200 on a bottle to say I want it. So I go right into, I need to conserve on this. I've given out pours on this. Victor's one of the members of our channel. He just won the cigar batch samples, and there's some of this in there. And I'm not going to be stingy if someone ever, I was hanging out or whatever, like, hey, let me try it. I'm like, absolutely going to try it. But I know to myself, when I go to pour it for myself, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to reflect on this a little bit. And I reflect a lot and have some fun with it. So Joseph Magnus, just because of the price points, it's now become one of those bottles that I really have to take care of and make sure that I'm conscientious, because I'm not going to run out and spend $200 on the bottle, even though it's a great bottle. It's just, there's a lot of other things that I can buy for $200 as far as a bourbon. Found this at $120. Blows most of the things away that I've ever had. That it just means something, and it's like, okay. Talking about cigar blends. Golly. Old Riley, Old Stogie. Never knew anything about this. From North Carolina, Eric Andrews. He happened to be the 750 subscriber winner. Him and I spend an hour on the phone going through. I built him a very nice sample pack. And I think that he's absolutely enjoyed that. But he's telling me about this, and I'm like, I've never heard of this. He gets me a bottle. So when we meet up, I'm like blown away. I'm like, dude, look, not only is the bottle beautiful, but the juice inside is fantastic. There's the sold out. They can't get any more. And so as this bottle dwindles, and I enjoy sharing it with other people, but when it finally goes, I'm gonna be, missing out. I'm like, dude, how's that? What's gonna happen there when it's finally gone? And so you look at these things, and like I said, I'm emotionally tied things to things. When people do things for me or they give stuff to me, it has a different value level than if I went and just picked it up myself. And I'm sure most of you are like that as well. If it means something more when somebody does something out of the kindness of their heart. Another bottle, when it's gone, it's gone. I mean, I've got some bottles up there that are still, relatively full. But there's the Starlight cigar batch up there. Dave Vogel saying, when I get down to that little bit of left in there, I'm like, dang, because I'm never really probably going to have an opportunity for a Benny selection of a Starlight cigar batch, which was outstanding. So things like that. There's so many bottles that when they go away because of they're no longer available, they were limited run quantities, they're just super hard to find, or there's something that someone gave you never heard about, it just means a lot. I mean, I've got so many over here, it's just ridiculous. Oh, where'd I put that one at? There it is. Master Pick 14 and 15. Know nothing about them when I bought them earlier this year. And they're like the second favorite unknown bourbon that I was able to pick up this year. And it was people that were telling me at the store again. It was Danny and Matt. They're like, hey, this is old MGP juice. They do some MGP, and I think there's some Beam that they do. But what they do is they, like the MGP juice, they'll get it 6 years old from MGP, and then they'll bring it, over to Portland, Oregon, and they'll age it another 8 or 9 years. And when that barrel's ready, they drop the barrel. And I've been fortunate enough to get 3 different of the master picks, 2 14 years, a 15-year. I got one to a friend, Matt. I know you love the master pick, and it's just really neat because I knew nothing about this company. I've emailed them, and they're hard to get a hold of. I think that some other people just don't know a lot about the company, but their juice is outstanding. And when that bottle's finally gone, it's gone, because they only do a certain amount of bottles per barrel. Like this one, there was 183 bottles, and this is 128.6 proof, which is right in my wheelhouse. But once those 128 bottles, because they only do 1 barrel at a time, is gone, they're gone. But amazing juice. And I didn't know anything about it. It's nothing you really see out there, on Whiskey Tube or anything like that. But absolutely love it. George T. Stagg. I mean, I'm going to be sad when this one goes. I've sampled this out to a lot of people, and it's been special pour type of things. And those who watch the channel, there's certain things that mean a lot, and so I did a Memorial Day thing for veterans and stuff, or people that have lost a loved one at Memorial Day. I know it's a very tough time, but I'm like, look, if there's someone that you want to honor or celebrate, or just, have a posthumous pour for, let me know. And I sent out a couple of samples of the George T. Stagg and it's the double oak 13th Colony, because I think that is a special pour. I let them select whatever they wanted, whoever was one of those people. And I said, you know what? Someone signed a check and it was cashed for the ultimate price. Who am I not to at least offer something out to someone that maybe has to have that residual effects of losing someone that they cared about, or seeing someone that they were part of a team with that's no longer there. And to think about it on that day, why not offer at least a special pour? And I'm glad I did that. And I've given this to a lot of other people too. But when this one goes, it's a B tag. They're hard to find. The only reason I opened this bottle is because I happened to luck into and have a second bottle. Now, was it cheap? No. Was it, MSRP? Not close. Was it full secondary? No. But it had a substantial cost to it. And so not only did it have a financial cost, but now it reminds me of some other things, the people that I shared this with. And so when this bottle's gone, it's gone, and it'll be sad to go, but I'm glad it got into some of the hands that it did get to, because maybe that'll help with some memories and stuff like that too. That's the whole point of having super special pours. Man, I could just go on and on, but I was thinking about it this morning. I said, these are the bottles right now that, I know that they have a lot of meaning to me for special reasons and special things. I mean, that Proof and Wood up there behind me, the Starlight Honey Cask, they're still very full, but as they start getting down, I'm going to start really reflecting and thinking on those bottles harder. And maybe I'm just the only crazy person that does that. But if you ever just kind of think about, and I'm curious, am I the only person that has a sentimental attachment to certain bottles? Do you ever have anything that you're like, hey, this meant something more because XYZ, I drank it with this buddy, or this buddy got this for me, or I did a bourbon hunt and stayed up all night and got this. So I'm curious to know that too. Do you have specific bottles that mean more to you? And if so, you put a little bit about it in the comments. Tell me, this is a bottle that means something to me and this is why. So maybe I am crazy, maybe I'm not. But just coffee this morning. Got church here in a little bit. Had a late night with everyone last night. It was a great time. I hope you all have an amazing day, and God bless.